Well, so there's when I when I scroll this user nostalgic and I see when I curiosity check out his community tab and I see this tier list and I saw me here and it's ranking the SMG4 reviewing communities. But yeah, so even I don't know I don't know many of them here, but I know some of them. Yeah, I do. I know mostly on Dab H, dude. Hit or miss. Yeah, there's me right here. Okay, yeah, maybe I can be hit or miss, but I don't know if I'm really trying to be that, you know, great or something. Because since I review SNG4 videos or doing monthly rankings or monthly reviews, yeah, I don't. Me and Falcon are doing our best. So yeah. So anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're gonna talk about this video right here. It's called "Debunking the Worst SMG4 Rant Video," and the he's debunking the Rant video, which is of course Metal Blades, and you all remember how I say it's very terrible at best, and I don't even bother bringing it up, like making a video about it, but and me and my friend Falcon shared this link to me on Discord in my private server. And I see it and it's really good. You should check it out right here. And yeah, let's see.
Hello guys, it is Nostalgia Egg here again with another video. Now I initially wasn't planning on ever making a response to this particular SMG4 rant video, since I technically already reviewed it during the SMG4 rant review marathon I was doing for my Instagram page back in March of 2022. But now that the topic has officially resurfaced again thanks in part to a Twitter call-out post made by the text commentary.
Yeah, and I think this all started because Poto Pizza brought up this the middle one of the Middle Blades part of which is of course you know when Luke and Kevin reacted to the old videos about they talk about it how Luke says he doesn't like it and Kevin Kevin praised Luke how far he's come, which which is unfortunate because Metal Blade when that part Metal Blade bring out that part, but he only manipulated the parts where Kevin says awful things, says bad things to Luke's style, which is not really true at all. And there's some the videos of them reacting to the old videos. We also Kevin praised Luke and that and Metal Blades took it seriously as making manipulative to paint or antagonize Kevin as a dictator over Luke. So yeah, that goes to show to you.
YouTuber Puddle of Pizza. I figured that now would finally be the time for me to tackle the worst of what this video had to offer, because believe me, there is more than enough awful to go around with this one. Now for those of you that need a quick recap, the video that I will be responding to is called Response to Modern SMG4, and it was uploaded by the YouTuber The Metal Blade 5, who is mostly known for his videos responding to game theory and death battle. At the time when this video came out, I was already done with watching SMG4's content, so I completely ignored its existence at first. So by the time I finally got to reviewing it for the SMG4 rant review marathon, I wasn't prepared for how downright awful this video truly was. But before I get into the numerous problems that I, and many others have with it, I should first quickly acknowledge that the video itself from a presentation standpoint, is actually pretty decent, and even the articulation of the criticisms being presented is much better than a majority of what we come to expect with modern SMG4 rant videos, and that includes points that I do/don't fully agree with. But just
Yeah, that's true. For Metal Blade's video, I do appreciate that he took his time and make it well edited and also bring up his points. But again, that's scratching the surface when we get into what Nostalgia Egg is about going to talk about. Because there's a lot of familiar territories that when I saw that video when it's first uploaded, my blood is like literally boiling because it all falls apart when Middleblade started to say false things.
Just remember that even if a video may look nice, or sound perfectly reasonable on paper, it doesn't automatically make it either of those two things. So now that we
Yeah,
have
that's
the
true.
introduction out of the way finally, it's now time for me to dissect this video from the top down, and showcase to you all why it's truly one of the worst things to come out of the SMG4 fandom.
SMG4 was one of the first channels I subscribed to after making my YouTube account, and I've watched it all these years. However, that has now left me in an awkward situation in regards to my feelings towards this series. I honestly didn't even realize I felt this way myself until fairly recently, but over the past several years, I haven't been enjoying SMG4 as much as I used to. Once the idea popped into my head, I had somewhat of an epiphany, where thinking back on my impressions of many of the newer episodes, I realized this to be true. Even looking at my liked videos playlist further backs this train of thought, as the frequency and gaps between SMG4 videos is far greater compared to the past, where almost every episode ended up on there. And that's not even taking into account the upload dates between them, which would show an even greater distance.
So starting things off, I would just like to highlight this video's intentionally manipulative framing that is constantly present throughout the entire runtime. If you don't understand what I mean by this, the video immediately opens up with a story regarding Metal Blade's attachment to the SMG4 channel as a whole, before reaching the conclusion that the videos aren't nearly as good as they used to be, therefore establishing its negative slant right out of the gate without explaining the reasons why beforehand. And this was a common tactic that numerous commentary YouTubers used to use back during the early days of the genre, before it was eventually phased out by the more analytical stylings of the modern-day video essayists. Given that the Metal Blade 5 was around during the genre's heyday, it does not at all surprise me that he tried to use the old tactics of framing the content negatively by presenting anecdotal evidence, in order to create an anti-modern SMG4 narrative. Nothing manipulates an audience of people faster than a sob story.
We're even at the point where they're copying older episodes, but making them worse.
This specific point may not seem nearly as bad as the later ones we have coming up, but what it does showcase, however, is that Metal Blade didn't do his proper research before deciding to make this video, because this particular complaint has been attributed to nearly every single era of SMG4.
I gotta stop you right there. I kind of don't understand that. Okay, I can now understand that people can be complaining about the copying the old style to the new one, which isn't really a entirely bad thing, because honestly, in Metal Blade's case, I think he didn't even see the videos, or it's just nostalgia bias get into him. So yeah, I did see Smart Ass Mario and even Smart Mario as well, which those two have a similar premise, but overall it's completely different. I mean, once again, it's not bad to borrow what you've done before, but try to make it more different but don't repeat it as last time. Which, if you see Smart Ass Mario and Smart Mario, they're two completely different. And I enjoyed both of them. I enjoyed Smart Mario Knuckle at that time, but I still enjoyed it as well. But yeah.
Excluding the 2011 through 2013 classic era. To go down the list real quick, a sizable portion of the 2014 era episodes have been called out for being rehashes of episodes from the classic era. These include %99% Biroken and Yoshrooms, 2 copies of 2013's 99.5% Crazy, The Visitor, a copy of 2012's The Imposter.
Yeah, I did see the old video of top 10 things we don't like about modern SMG4, the 2015 video, and I can really see what they're saying, the rehashing, and I can fully understand it, and I see that too. But anyway, even though I don't mind that point, because it's already been happening, but again, it really brings up the good point that SG4 has done these before. So so yeah.
Ticket, a copy of 2012's Rich Glitch, Meet the Mario, a copy of 2013's The Totally Accurate True Documentary of Mario, and most notoriously, Boil the Big Bully, Who Let the Chomp Out, and Problematic Pipe Problems, are all copies of 2013's A Fungus Among Us. And while I don't personally find reusing plots to be a net negative in general, you can't selectively pick and choose which videos should be highlighted in order to suit your overall point, as you then disregard the reality that SMG4 has always been notorious
pretty much that's
for
true.
reusing
That's
plots.
true.
But at least
pretty
with
much
the
Metal
modern
Blade took it out of
episodes, it's a little more
context,
understandable since
which
it's been over a decade
that
since
we would
most of
get
those
to
older
that
ones
later.
came
I
out.
think pretty
Whereas
much.
with the randomness era, the gaps in between episodes were only a singular year apart at best.
Another major issue I have with the modern content, and this is something I've always felt at the back of my mind, but only properly recognized after my epiphany, is the characters. Specifically, over the past couple of years, they have introduced tons of original characters who become part of the main cast, and this has only become more frequent as time's gone on. Not only does the existence of original characters go against part of the hilarity of SMG4, being how he takes these pre-existing characters and makes ridiculous parodies out of them, but most of the original characters are, in my opinion, boring, unfunny, incredibly forced in, and take away from the enjoyment of the series.
Now don't get me wrong, I can understand why some of the characters that were introduced from the 2016
I mean, I
onwards
can
would
understand
fully appeal to a
what
lot
he
of the
meant,
classic and
but
randomness era fans.
overall,
Having that said,
I don't think
I do
original
not think the
characters
mere
can't
existence of those original characters
is
inherently goes
not
against what
supposed to
the
be
series
funny.
stands for. Metal Blade may not want to acknowledge this fact, but SMG4, SMG3, Enzo, and all of the other Mario recolors that joined the series back during the classic era are all from a technical standpoint original characters. While yes, they are still reskins of pre-existing Nintendo characters, the same defense could also be used for the post-2015 characters such as Fishy Boopkins, Bob, and even Meggy, who were pre-existing Nintendo characters.
The Mario recolors back in the day, I only remember notable ones, which of course is X, FM, and Enzo, because those characters have originality in them, but rest of the recolors have nothing in it. They're just like background characters as well with no traits. But that was making, like, back in the day is SM64 era, which SMG4 named that as is. But when we get to SMG4, naming like SMG4, Mario does this and Mickey does that, or Atari does this, or Melody does this, you can see why that SMG4 doesn't title his videos SM64 bloopers or SM64 stuff, because I don't think that it doesn't apply to his branding nowadays.
That were given their own names and personalities. But even if I were to entertain the idea that the Mario recolors didn't fully count as originals, the point still holds zero weight, since both the Rocks and Wizard Rock character were two of the earliest original cast additions to the series. The SMG4 series has its roots in Super Mario 64 Machinima, which is a genre that is known for featuring original characters based off of the YouTubers in question. Even if we take your unfounded assumptions that SMG4 is supposed to be a Nintendo parody series only into account, the classic episodes by default fall outside of the boundaries, since recolor characters like SMG4, SMG3, X, FM, Starman 3, MCG, Bot, and others are not parodies of anyone. So unless you are able to find me solid proof of Luke and or Kevin specifically stating that the utilization of OCs discounting the Mario recolors is entirely off limits, the notion that having completely original characters goes against what the SMG4 series is supposed to stand for is completely ridiculous.
Let's start with the most notable of all,
here
who
we
I
go.
consider the catalyst for the issues I've grown to have with the series. Meggy. I've always found her to be such a boring and unfunny character. Even back when she was an Inkling, she wasn't even a parody, since she has the exact same personality as any other Inkling.
I'm pretty sure, Nostalgia added this because neither were the recolors Fishy Book and Bob abandoned in most of the Nintendo OCs. Yeah, that's pretty true. I don't think I never seen these characters as parodies. Neither does Meggy, which Metal Blade is right, but again, that's just besides the point. But I don't think Meggy is it's not meant to be a parody or a joke character. No. It's more like a sane character, like more different from the rest, because in this time, like ever since 2016, like SMG4 is changing and we have Meggy in the scene. But yeah,
just with more dialogue. So it always bugged me to see her get constantly pushed to the forefront and made one of the main characters, in which she then became the Min of YouTube. The girl who everyone loves despite not doing anything to warrant such popularity. They absolutely refuse to do anything.
and Nostalgia A added this: the characters who are written to be relatable are usually the ones that receive the most fanfare. Yeah, that's true. The reason people like Meggy is because the way she was more different, like how she was established back then. And I mean that, even though when Meggy first introduced, I don't care about her, but when she appeared in more and more episodes, I realized she's like the most, and I start to get to attach to her. Like I like this character. Yeah, she's more different than what we saw others. And pretty much, yeah. So that's the reason why people, mostly people like her, because she's different. and unique. And you all guys remember back in 2018 the Mary Sue thing, which of course SG4 took that criticism and make her have flaws. So yeah, but that doesn't apply towards Metal Blade, because Metal Blade doesn't see that, because Metal Blade it skips over videos of whatever Maggie's appeared, which really negates his really, which doesn't really help, because Maggie is not even a Mary Sue. She has flaws. But of course, Mary Sue term is a lost term in general, and it's been used a lot with, like, despite whether female characters have flaws or not, they still get called Mary Sues, which really defeats the term, what the term established at. So that's really unfortunate, and it's pretty annoying as well. I really hate that term being thrown in, unless it's been thrown in actual genuine critique videos. So yeah.
Anything funny with her, being that she lacks a stupid, ridiculous, or flawed personality and is never involved in anything like slapstick, for example. She just
Since what the SMG4 kids need to have some personality classic, like usually Star Wars portrays smarter than the rest of the cast. Yeah, that's true. I don't think yeah, I of course I understand that many characters as SMG4 can be portrayed as stupidity, probably such as Bob mostly. But honestly, I don't think many characters should get that treatment, because I'm pretty sure make everyone stupid can be over redundant sometimes, but it's not bad to make them have flaws. But yeah, and to be honest, I don't really see Maggie as being stupid. She's fine as is, as a sane character. So I don't think not every character should be stupid. That's really that's the point I was trying to make. Not every character should be stupid. Neither does Maggie. It doesn't. But they can have any moments that can be, they can be like, like confused, or like screw up something. So yeah.
flexes on everyone with her athletic and shooter skills and her lame tomboy attitude. I don't think I've enjoyed any Maggie-focused episode because she's such a boring character that it makes me feel bored and left with a painfully neutral impression. Yet she still gets the center of attention, with Luke and Kevin practically simping over her. They even
Let's see that. Yeah. So I see this. Metal Blade brought this, and the SG4 chat changed our rights. Really? Well, yeah, of course. Really, Metal Blade. I don't think Metal Blade doesn't follow what SG4 Karen makes. Like, because Maggie is the reason why we have Glitch Productions. Yes, includes Tari in Meta Runner as well. I don't care if people may disagree with me, but this is what really gives more context of what SG4 Kevin really brought out, because SG4 brought Maggie because he's into animation, which that really inspires him and Kevin to make their own indie studio, and make their own that character, which is of course Tari and Meta Runner, come into play. So, which really Maggie's one of those reasons why we have Glitch Productions, which I really appreciate. And even though this is just you blending or in the comments behind the episodes they were reacting to, where they say if Mario was in Splatoon was the episode where Luke learned to animate. Yeah, that's true. I remember Luke stated that he got into animating with the help of I'm not gonna say that his name, but it's a certain creep in the Splatoon community, which I'm pretty sure SG4 ignored him after that, because if you want to know the context, it starts with the G, and it starts with the G and the name has craze in it. So yeah, I don't want to get into much of that.
They even gave her a fucking movie before anyone else.
Before anyone else. I don't know. I don't understand
Metal
that.
Blade said about Maggie's character in this segment. I will admit that it was both this segment as well as the segments on Fishy Boopkins and Bob that led me into thinking this video really isn't that bad. But as with everything else that I've discussed so far, this segment also has a lot of issues. For starters, He makes a lot of incorrect assumptions in regards to Meggy's character lacking depth and never being used for slapstick comedy, when neither of these points are true in the slightest. As Meggy's personality is a lot more complex than a vast majority of the other cast members, both old and new, and she was often the butt of the joke when it came to the moments where she had to cook or restrain herself from shooting at her enemies.
Hey, Wario,
Those times I remember she has flaws, and that is pretty funny to see. She can't resist in shooting and even paint moments.
It would be horrible if something bad were to happen to this t-shirt.
Yeah. way to go to resist that. I mean, who would? And yeah, that too. Yeah. I still laugh at this part.
She may not have typically shown signs of weakness during a vast majority of her combat scenes prior to becoming human in 2019, but there were numerous episodes where she still displayed a lot of the same zany traits as the rest of the cast. And as another counter to this claim, despite being accused of being portrayed as a quote-unquote perfect character, Meggy didn't actually receive nearly as much favoritism as a certain other character from the classic era did, who not only took the spotlight away from certain characters that debuted before him, but also insisted that his character was portrayed in a positive light regardless of what Luke may have intended initially. I can name plenty of moments where Meggy in both her Inkling and human forms is treated just as unseriously as the rest of the cast, but I can't do the same for Starman 3. Nearly every single appearance he had felt forced, and like he was given favoritism over Mario and SMG4. Meggy shares a lot of characteristics with Starman 3, but rather than being annoyed at stupidity like Starman 3 was, she is instead amused by it. Metal Blade may not have took this into consideration before making this video, but Meggy prior to her transformation at the end of the anime arc was the lowest recurring of the three main cast editions, featuring in a total of 37 episodes throughout 2017 and 2018, which is nowhere near Boopkins and Bob's highest totals of 65 and 60 respectively. Now this could have been attributed to the fact that she was often fully animated in comparison to the rest of the cast who alternated between Super Mario 64 models and Gmod ragdolls, but it only demonstrates the fact that Metal Blade is purposely exaggerating the role she had in the series early on in order to add validity.
Yeah, not gonna lie, she's either with the original characters, they are animate well. As much of the common complaint I have with SMG4 is to try to make it more good, especially try to combine SM64 and Gmod into the mix, like make Gmod look good, especially it doesn't look like lazy as hell, because but use like Gmod ragdolls flying around as try to use it as like moments that are needed. And that's what I have. That's my only current criticism I have for SMG4, because I want to see it look good. So yeah, and yeah.
To his argument, of which there is none. Furthermore, he also severely downplays the amount of growth she had gone through as a character and refuses to acknowledge all of the influential qualities that she ended up bringing to the series as a whole. She wasn't just a random character that fans decided to latch onto for no reason at all. Rather, she was an extremely influential character who became the reason for Luke deciding to incorporate true animation into the SMG4 series. That also carried an extremely likable personality that resonated with a majority of the audience. For every moment where she appeared to be competitive and snarky, there were others where she would laugh at herself for not succeeding in everything she wanted to achieve. And it was for those reasons that Luke and Kevin decided to take her character to the extreme and have it go through many life-changing experiences. So while I can understand why some fans don't personally resonate with her, the legacy she has created is undeniable.
I fucking hate Meggy due to certain behind-the-scenes factors.
Yes, This is the reason Metal Blade doesn't watch any episodes with Meggy, because of this. Because of Lizzie Freeman, its take on the voice acting dilemma, which is this one. Is this I don't know. Anyone disagrees with me, doesn't know anything about acting and is merely pretending to. which that wasn't even true. Lizzie, and also this is the point. This is taken out of context to think that Lizzie Freeman is racist, which is that is not even true. I mean, this is goes for political ideologies goes into play. Like again, it doesn't matter if you're left or right. It doesn't really matter. Just it's not even that big of a deal. But this is taken out of context, which Manipulate did, and many folks use it as to think Lizzie Freeman, the former voice actor of Maggie, is racist. Like that really goes to show how pathetic people use this out of context post, which they are really wrong. And I hate this part. I hate Manipulate uses this.
She's a bitch.
So now I skip over any episode that has Meggy in the phone.
Yeah, Nostalgia Egg says it's an extreme reaction. Yeah, that's true. Metablade is just pretty much being over exaggerated. He's completely overreacting to all of this. Like to make that really defeats his point of being a perfect character. Despite there's a lot of episodes that doesn't show that she's perfect. She's not perfect. So Metablade just make the easy way out to make it to see Maggie is a complete 100% Mary Sue and perfect character, which that's really not true at all. And but that's unfortunately goes to show how the criticisms in the SMG4 community goes in, which is pretty unfortunate.
This is something that I didn't fully catch on my first watch through of this video, and even on subsequent watches I still don't understand what the point being made about Meggy's former voice actor Lizzie Freeman is, as there is zero context being represented. So rather than being informed by the Metal Blade 5 himself on what this tweet is in response to, I instead had to seek out this other video actually showcasing the context to this situation. And from what I saw, it appears that she just has a personal stance against taking POC roles from actual people of color. I can maybe see why certain people on the right-wing side of the internet could interpret this as being a racist opinion, but this is nowhere near as bad as a majority of the genuine anti-white racism that I've seen over the years.
Yeah,
And to
that
be
shit
clear,
that
I
shit
do
is
not
very
personally
pathetic. That shit is pretty pathetic. I don't even care about that. No, I understand. I understand about the ideologies in this, but overall, this they taking out of context really makes it the whole thing worse, and not towards Lizzie Freeman, but in the community in general, which. Lizzie Freeman isn't a racist. She has different opinions, and it doesn't seem. It seems pretty sus. I understand. I'm sorry I say sus, but it seems pretty sus. But who cares? It's not that big of a deal.
subscribe to this kind of ideology that people like Lizzie Freeman do, but I'm also not going to make a big deal out of it either.
Yeah, true.
The fact that he even included this in the video without proper context just shows how manipulative his overall intentions
Yeah, true,
were.
true.
You know what I said before about how I didn't like characters like X, FM, and the other alternate colored Mario YouTubers being effectively removed? Modern SMG4 is like that on steroids. So many of the funny characters who helped make the series what it was, and even some who have been around since the beginning, have been severely pushed to the side and almost flat out removed to make room for the shitty new ones.
This was another criticism that I also somewhat...
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I understand what Metal Blade's trying to point out, which I understand, yeah, many of the old characters get pushed aside, which especially Bowser and Peach and Toad, which honestly, I kind of see, over the years, I kind of see Peach getting less and less screen time, especially with other princesses such as Daisy, getting small amount of roles there, and never brought it up again. But even Rosalia brought out one time thing, which never brought it up again. And even Peach gets a decreased amount of spotlight, which because as if I remember correctly, that Luke Kevin says that Peach is there as a plot device, because I don't think they don't have any ideas for her, and neither does Bowser, because Bowser is just evil, which an evil simp towards Peach, which I'm not saying being a simp is bad, but that's what Bowser is, yeah. Which yeah, that's true. But but even I did see Bowser some, even the recent ones such as the Mario Constitution. There's some ideas, but it's not there yet. So pretty much Bowser has some ideas, but I'm pretty sure SMG4 Kevin doesn't have any ideas for them, which, because honestly, people making stupid videos with Nintendo characters that they have many ideas to do with it, but it pretty much it gets limited, which has already been done before, especially with the SM64 machinimas as well.
Would agreed with when I first watched this video, but after doing my own personal deep dive into the flaws with modern SMG4 I realized that this point has a reasonable explanation that is never fully explored. That explanation being that most of the older characters don't really fit into the writing of the current episodes these days, as characters such as Bowser are only really necessary for episodes requiring an antagonist, of which there are very few in comparison to the earlier episodes.
I don't believe. Well, Bowser still is, but I don't think he is a fully
antagonist. The vast
antagonist.
majority of modern SMG4 revolves around the antics of Mario and doesn't usually focus on the rest of the cast unless the writing would require it. At the time this video's examples of Toad, Peach, SMG4, Luigi, and for some reason Mario were already pretty weak as is, but from the Genesis arc onwards I'd argue that characters like Luigi, SMG4, SMG3, and especially Mario are even more important than they were before. So much so
Yeah,
that
that's
a lot
true.
of the later cast
I kind of
additions
appreciate
such as
that.
Tari and Psycho, who each had their own segments in this video, are rarely ever given starring roles in comparison to when they were first introduced. Even a more recent addition, i.e., Melanie doesn't get as much screen time as the characters I mentioned before. And while there could be multiple
Yeah, that's true. I kind of wish SG4 try to use the new characters more and more and make it variety. That's what we wanted. We want characters in more variety type of ways, such as Kaizo and Melanie, Wimpu, Belly, Jub, Rob as well. But honestly, that's the issue with the YouTube's algorithm because Mario brings in buttload of views. Well, if there's like, for example, the corn chip and the Bob's Pawn Store, that episode gets less viewed because the lack of Mario. So that's why I kind of fully blame on the algorithm angle, which is honestly true and pretty much not. It's pretty sad to see. But I do wish SG4 can use variety of characters because we all want that.
reasons for that being the case. I think the lack of cast variety comes down to the majority of modern episodes being written with Mario and oftentimes Luigi, SMG4, and Meggy in mind, as opposed to writing episodes that utilize a larger cast of characters. Recent episodes such as A Happy Little Road Trip and My Roommate Mario are specifically designed to focus on a simpler cast of characters, as opposed to the older ones like
Those
Mario's
videos are
Challenge,
good though.
Mario Battle Royale, Wild Mario, and Stupid Mario Sports.
Yeah,
Mix that
I
are
can
completely
understand that
designed
the
around
large
utilizing a
cast
larger
in these
cast.
episodes.
So in other words, smaller ideas require minimal characters while bigger ideas require larger amounts.
Desti
True.
was never an important character, as she was only in one episode prior to this arc. Yet they treat it as if she was, by making out that this is some massively devastating loss and that we'll never see her again. Second is that in her one prior episode, and even during this arc, Meggy and Desti hated each other's guts. But now they suddenly act as if they were best friends, with Meggy becoming a sobbing, traumatized mess from her death. What? Their rivalry did become more friendly in the episode before Desti's death, so I could see Meggy developing a bit of a mutual
Wait a sabotage
respect
your
for
argument
her
there.
and being a bit sad
Yeah, that's
by
true.
that,
I
but not-
understand folks take this issue as well because honestly, I kind of wish SG4 tried to use the characters more to make it work well, especially which not gonna lie, which the more impactful one is of course is Axel. Which yeah, because Axel has more episodes than Desti, which yeah, I can see why. But overall, overall Desti's death has meaning to Meggy's character, and Axel's death has meaning to Melanie's character. But honestly, both have the both are pretty well presented. Well, I wish both of them, Axel and Desti, have more episodes so we could get to know them more. Yeah. So yeah, I can understand Metal Blade's issue there, but honestly, yeah, as Nostalgia put it right there, it's kind of
Like,
you know.
I don't know how it can go on. It's simply bad writing to make it more emotional when it shouldn't be this kind of emotional to begin with.
Now I don't intend to spend too long on his points regarding the anime arc, since most of his criticisms aren't completely unreasonable, but the points he makes about the aftermath of the arc on the other hand are quite the head-scratcher. Because for anyone who has actually seen the arc from beginning to end, as well as the follow-up movie Meggy's Destiny, you'd know that Meggy's trauma over Dusty's death is mostly caused by the guilt she feels for thinking her failure to defend herself.
Yeah, that's true. It's all presented there. But I don't. But yeah, as again, Metablade is one of those fans that doesn't want to learn about
but when
it.
you look at it through a deeper perspective, it's clear that Meggy feels the way she does because A, she watched her rival get killed right in front of her face, and it doesn't take a genius to realize that watching a person you know die will create some form of trauma, and B, she believed that her actions were the cause of it happening. So much so, that she even offered herself up as a sacrifice once she realized that the crew had no other way of beating Francis. So for a character that he describes as being bland, she clearly has a ton of emotional depth that you won't really notice on your first viewing. Cause I also didn't realize how complex she really was, until I started rewatching the anime arc in prior episodes like the X-Mess Discovery that showcase the multiple sides to her personality, and I'd argue that Dusty's death was the defining moment where she became far deeper than any character who has entered the series before and after.
Now, the final thing I want to talk
Yeah, I don't
about
believe
in this
Metablade
video
watched Meggy's
is
Destiny,
Luke
the
and
movie.
Kevin's
I don't think
treatment
he
of the
did.
older episodes. Going back round to the humor being worse, a lot of the dark comedy found in the previous eras is all but gone now, such as the whole Luigi being gay thing not existing anymore, and now he's just wimpy like his game counterparts.
Yeah. Okay, so the dark jokes, yes, for good reason why they're gone. For good reason, because back in the old days, there's a lot of dark humor which doesn't flow well in today's current current standards today, because there's a lot of good reasons why it's never brought up again. Because as Luke is young in that time, and and when Luke is mature, he doesn't use them anymore because he found, I'm pretty sure he did see the fully no meaning why it's not gonna flow well, which I honestly see, because when I look back at the old videos, there's a lot of raunchy humor here and there, and a lot of dark moments as well, but I'm not complaining. It's the product of their time, as they say. So, yeah. So it's good that 4 doesn't use those jokes nowadays, because that won't flow well at all. And also, in this part when Metablade about Luigi, what Metablade says to Luigi is very untrue, because Luigi is still gay, especially but as SMG4, Kevin confirmed that Luigi is bisexual. So yeah, and as Nostalgia said, this is practically untrue, as episodes such as Mario Can't Play With You Anymore and the 10-year anniversary, we have made direct references to these sort of jokes. Yeah, that's true. Luigi is still gay in the recent episodes. It still is, and it is pretty funny to see, but it's also pretty good on Luigi's character.
In addition to how this further correlates to many of the modern videos being uninteresting, as they replace them with these very safe jokes that are, once again, unfunny most of the time, on Hobo Bros, they've done a couple of reaction videos to
Oh
the
boy,
older
this is what I hate
where
the
they repeatedly
most.
say, we'd never be able to get away with that now. Well, more accurately, it's what Kevin claims.
Yeah. Not just Kevin, SMG4 as well. This is where I hate Metablade's video mostly, is the part where Luke and Kevin react to the old videos, and which we will get to that, because I've seen this video before. As Nostalgia is going to debunk this as well. I really, this is what I hate the most in the community criticisms on SMG4. I hate a lot, is the blaming Kevin BS, which is very tiring, because at first SMG4 bringing Kevin to help him to write the episodes, because as SMG4 stated himself, he can't write, which really defeats everything the current criticisms on blaming Kevin shit, which is. Which they don't, because many of the offense don't want to listen. They just blindly use this card to prove their points, which is honestly dumb in general. Which I really hate this part. I really hate it.
You could never do anything like that in 2020, man.
Sounds a little fatalistic to me, but I guess that is
Yeah, in these
partially to
reactions.
do
Yeah.
with YouTube's
Nostalgia Egg
bullshit
is pointing it out as
demonetization
well.
rules, where it's like, you swore once, so you're not allowed to make any money. However, I don't.
They still swear. Yeah, the SMG4 still swears today, but it's been bleeped out because current YouTube policy BS, which I kind of agree on Metablade's part, but still, that's besides the point.
Because I think they're a load of shit. So I don't
It
see why
is,
SMG4
yeah.
should do it too, when part of what I enjoyed about it at first was how rebellious it felt with its sense of humor.
This criticism is something that I could have potentially understood had this video have been made in either 2018 or 2019, but in the post-SML getting a cease and desist from Nintendo and Leafy is here getting his entire channel terminated era, I don't think SMG4's darker humor would completely fly under the radar as it did in the years previous, since the only thing it takes in order to get on the internet's bad side these days is to have an out-of-context clip posted all over Twitter attempting to paint the series as inherent.
But let me see. This guy is the example of thousands of people on this public chat to get attacked for using the R word. Oh. Wait a minute. What does that say? Sorry.
As it did in the years previous, since the only thing it takes in order to get on the internet's bad side these days is to have an out-of-context clip.
Okay. Yeah, okay. This is I hate Twitter too about, SML and SMG4 schlick. SML finding Sonic the X3 fights the bullshit on this point. I'm just saying at least one isn't racist. You do realize SMG has two title guards. Well, yeah, I know this user. He's annoying too, which he's on the SML side of things, which I don't care about that, but he's annoying too. You do realize SMG like I don't think he doesn't understand that R64 GNR isn't a thing anymore, because there's a lot of good reason why SG4 changed the title to the full word to R64, because it's obvious. But I'm pretty sure that was back in 2022. I'm pretty sure those opinions have changed as well. But yeah.
Posted all over Twitter attempting to paint the series as inherently problematic in nature. And while you could argue that certain communities do not promote this kind of bandwagon behavior, SMG4's channel is far too large and infamous among older fans at this point for people to let him get away with telling edgier jokes, especially the ones that would be labeled as too insensitive by today's standards. This could just be a personal thing, but I honestly never really cared for the edgier humor in the earlier episodes anyway. I can acknowledge.
Yeah, I don't care about. Yeah, I kind of agree that I don't care so much on the edgier jokes, but I don't care for that. It can be used nowadays, but on SG4's case, I really don't want to see that go flow, because I'm pretty sure SG4 and Kevin knows they won't do those types of things, because they're pretty much too large just to say those jokes. And also if they use those jokes, they're gonna be shitting on years on end, that's really unfortunate, coming from even Twitter as all places, because Twitter is the most pathetic excuse of exciting, which of course Elon Musk came in and destroyed the whole thing, which of course thanks Elon Musk for being a pussy ass rich ass white dude. Yeah, because freedom of speech shit.
That some of them executed it incredibly well, but it was typically very juvenile and didn't add anything to the episodes outside of making them targets for Twitter brigades. When I look back at some of my favorite episodes from the classic 2011 through 2013 era, I mostly admire them for their creative plots and unique cast of characters. In some cases the juvenile humor is actually a hindrance to the overall quality, such as the case with the War of the Fat Italians 2011 episode. It is fully possible for an SMG4 episode to be great without including thousands of rape and sex-related jokes, and I don't think the series needs to have dicey stuff.
Again, it's product of their time. It was
excusable when Luke was a lot younger and didn't understand the implications behind telling
Luke
those
was
sorts
younger
of jokes.
making
but
those.
in 2023, trying to do shock humor like that, especially if they tried it with Meggy, Tari, Psycho, and Melanie, will just make the episodes extremely awkward.
Yeah, that's pretty
and
true,
outside
but
of the raunchy sex-related jokes, the only other prominent sources of the humor that is completely missing these days are the swearing and the musical numbers, but the latter.
The musical numbers, I don't, because it's copyright.
Yeah. Due to YouTube's demonetization
but they still swear, but they bleeped out. But
now
unless it's not, at least they don't swear like crazy like certain puppet channel
does. Even for as bad as all of these previous arguments may have been, I can at the very least say that they aren't completely bordering on the kind of conspiratorial nonsense that often plagues the discourse in the more niche areas of the community. I want you to keep this in mind as I
Yeah,
tackle
which
this
is
last
that's pretty
segment,
unfortunate.
because I am not kidding when I say that this is without a doubt the absolute worst piece of SMG4 related content that I have ever seen, and it completely baffles my mind that so many people in the SMG4 critic community managed to let this abhorrent filth slide, because these last few minutes leave the realm of constructive criticism and travel completely into conspiratorial territory, and it's thanks to the garbage spewed during this segment that Luke, Kevin, James, FM, the rest of the Glitch team as well as the core SMG4 fanbase itself, no longer take the critics seriously.
Yeah, I can't. I'm one of those people. I can't take it seriously. If you follow me, I make reviews critiquing the episodes. You don't see me talking negative stuff, which I do, but it's kind of minimal. But here's the thing: negativity is what drives people more and more attraction because they want negative stuff. They don't want any positive stuff, which that is really unfortunate on current days of YouTube. Which whenever people make reviews that are positive, people don't watch it. But if people make negative stuff, people will definitely watch it, and that's pretty unfortunate. And even in the case of SG4 as well, because I really, it really drags the whole thing down, make it more genuine in anything, which we can't take it seriously anymore. It's just so bad. Many of the Rant videos on Mario SG4 is just pure garbage, and that's what I see. It's mostly miss the old era schlick and doesn't talk about what they want to see. Just mostly it just feels mostly old SMG4 good, new SMG4 bad. That's it, which is typical, and especially blaming Kevin again.
Or through those reaction videos, I get the impression that they see the older videos as something to be mocked rather than honored, much less as a point.
That's
of
not
reference
even
for how it
true.
improved.
I
One
don't
episode
see
they
them
reacted
mocking.
to was 0% of spaghetti, which is from the very early era of episodes. The entire reaction is Kevin taking the piss out of the editing, completely ignoring that it is a very old video. And at the end of it all, Luke sounded so defeated.
Yeah. I listen. I understand it's an old video, yes, but that doesn't mean it's good. There's some crappy editing. As me, I can feel when I was in the old days of YouTube, such as me, I make some questionable editing and badly editing stuff, which I can't deny they're bad. Which, of course, Luke stated that he doesn't like to see that. Which which of course Kevin says it looks bad, but he also there's some moments he also praised Luke and what he come far, like, but Better Play doesn't see it.
Of what he had made.
Well, the editing was awful. The humor was something, and
That's something else I want to touch on.
That's normal. That's typically normal to YouTubers. Whenever they see their old stuff, they feel pretty disappointed in how it looks because it's old, yeah. But that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. They're looking at these videos and try to improve further in the more recent things, like, oh, okay, this video looks kind of bad, maybe I can remake it to make it more better. That's normal for YouTubers. But of course Metablade here doesn't see that. He just used it to excuse to blame Kevin, and which I really feel bad for Kevin because SG4 want him to be with him to write the episodes down because he wants help. But nope, many old fans of the community just blame this certain brother who agrees to help Luke out in the first place, which Luke asked him for. So yeah, that's really unfortunate.
With everything I've covered about the direction the new episodes have gone in, it's always been Kevin saying these things, not Luke.
Not always
now,
Kevin.
This is in no way intended to be a hit piece against Kevin, but I can't help but feel he may be at least
Remember that statement and pay close attention to what he says about Kevin after.
somewhat responsible for what has happened to the channel. I know Kevin started writing for the series around 2016 and gradually became more involved over time, which sort of correlates with when I felt the quality started to decline. Additionally, on Hobo Bros and a lot of the channel updates, Kevin is basically doing all of the talking and presenting and is at the forefront, while Luke is more in the background, hardly speaking. There's also the time with
Which
the
I don't
Big
get it.
Chungus
I
episode.
did see the reaction videos of Hope Rolls, and yeah, Kevin does talk, but Luke also talks as well. So I'm not surprised that Metal Blade took this. Seems like his nostalgia bias taking as Kevin being the dictator towards Luke.
Where Luke initially didn't want to make it because the meme was dead at that point, but Kevin persuaded him into doing it anyway. All this stuff makes it feel like this is Kevin's channel now rather than Luke's, which makes me concerned that Kevin may have taken up a bit of a dictatorial role, with Luke being stuck as his yes man.
not
Which is
not
especially
really. No.
problematic when you realize that Kevin hasn't seen any of the episodes released prior to him joining on. All those reaction videos? That's him seeing these episodes for the very first time. So if what I'm theorizing is even remotely true, it would appear that Kevin is enforcing his own vision of the show without taking into account what came before and made people like the channel in the first place.
I feel like I shouldn't have to explain to you all why this segment comes off more so as unhinged conspiratorial rambling rather than constructive criticism. I don't necessarily think that theorization is a bad thing inherently, as it can be used to get you further to the truth in certain scenarios. But there's a massive difference between someone like me speculating on the reasons why Luke may decide to change the titles of non-Mario themed episodes, and Metal Blade 5 outright assuming what Kevin's intentions behind helping the SMG4 brand are. Even if I were to treat any of these claims as serious arguments, nearly everything that is stated during this segment is factually untrue, because for one, he is using reaction videos as legitimate evidence to back up his claims, and not only is this a really stupid thing to do, but he's specifically highlighting the reaction videos where Luke and Kevin are watching the really early episodes. Episodes that Luke has been on record saying that he doesn't like.
Oh, the crazy vital, that one's horrible.
Why is it horrible?
Oh, it's so bad.
You see,
Why is it bad?
Okay, so
It looks still like this with all his videos, by the way. It's just, you know, creators,
yeah,
the creator dilemma.
this one, we have some dude comes in, hits everyone with toilets. That's the story.
Sounds awesome.
That's the story.
sounds
yeah,
something
you
a
can see
13-year-old kid would
Nostalgia
make.
Ape
Yeah.
brought up evidence of yeah.
I like it. I'm proud
You
of
notice
it.
how Kevin's one
Proud
being
of
more
how
positive
funny.
in these classic episodes that Luke stuff is. You see,
But you know, I guess
Kevin
this is what people
praised
liked back
Luke
then.
Yeah.
I
and
mean,
what
some
Mario
fans still
become.
like this.
Yeah.
They wanted to bring it back, but you know, I gotta evolve.
Furthermore, is it really such a bad thing for Kevin to make fun of the videos that Luke himself has been open about disliking for years? The whole reason behind reacting to your older videos is to point out all of the dated aspects so that you can showcase how far you've come over the years.
it's completely normal
Not
that
to
Metal
mention
Blade
that
is
Luke and
exaggerating since
Kevin
he
gave
actually
a lot
believes
of
the older
props to the
videos should be
2013
criticized. So
through 2019
he's essentially
videos
speaking
that
with
they
his
reacted
emotions
to.
here.
It
Yeah,
was
that's
only
true.
the
I think pretty sure
2011 and
Metal Blade is just
2012 episodes they outright
that's just
scrapped.
his nostalgia
And I don't
bias
think
coming
people like
over
Metal Blade
coming
fully
onto
realize
him.
this, but in spite of how iconic a lot of those earlier 2012 and 2013 episodes are, they can never be openly talked about by Luke or the rest of the crew again since they feature loads of major appearances from the controversial SM64 YouTuber Starman3. And if you somehow haven't stumbled across the allegations yet, the TLDR is that Starman3 is a pedophile and was removed from the SMG4 series permanently
we don't
due to
talk
the
about him.
allegations surrounding him. And not only that, but it was also later on revealed by friends of Luke that Starman3 was using emotional manipulation tactics in order to force him into putting the
No,
character
man, Luke
in
was around
videos
13,
where he
14
didn't
at the
want
time,
to.
and Starman
So I
was
find
around
it to be
it.
quite
Yeah,
insulting
that's
to him
pretty
that you are
true.
accusing his brother of forcing
Yeah,
him
once
into
I
making
heard that,
videos
I
he
really,
doesn't want
really
to, when
despise
that is
Starman.
actually what happened to him while making the episodes that people like us
Or
grew up
pedo
on.
man.
I don't know Luke or Kevin myself, so I can't speak on how exactly the Big Chungus Hunt episode came together. But I'd imagine that it was an
Yeah,
idea that
honestly,
Luke
I don't know
wasn't
if it
initially keen on that
does
Kevin-
when Metal Blade said that Luke doesn't want to make it, but Kevin persuaded him to do it. But I'm pretty sure SMG4 just wants to do it anyways because it's what I don't but that's just a conspiracy theory Metal Blade made basically just to paint Kevin in a bad light. That's what it is.
encouraged him to pursue anyway since he saw potential in it, and that
Yeah,
isn't
pretty-
nearly
yeah,
as bad
true.
as Metal Blade is making it seem since Luke and Kevin were
I
a
like
team
the
that
Chungus
probably
episode. It's
balanced
a
ideas
classic
off
for
of each
me.
other quite
I
often.
like it.
So I don't think it's
Don't-
out of
don't
the
at
realm
me.
of possibility that both parties ended up making
Yes, I know it's
several
dead
videos
too,
that they weren't
and
fully
even
on board
for
with.
made
As a
jokes
YouTuber,
about
it's
it
good
being
for you
dead
to
as
make
well.
videos that you yourself are passionate about, but it's not entirely a bad thing for you to make videos that help in building your subscriber base. Nor is it a bad thing to experiment with different styles in
Yeah,
order
true,
to find something
true.
that works
Old
out the best
vid-
for you. Kevin
Old videos are
encouraging
there
Luke to
for a
go beyond what
reason
he's
for
used to as his
YouTubers
way
to
of
look
getting
back
him
on and
comfortable
try to
with
improve
trying new
things.
things.
That's
It's really
that's
no
what
different
makes
than when Kevin
makes you
suggested that Luke should
grow.
express himself more back when Hobo Bros first opened up and the SMG4 show miniseries was introduced. And to expand upon this further, Luke prior to Kevin's addition wasn't really seen that often. Sure, he did 2 or 3 videos where he incorporated live-action skits, but outside of that, nobody really knew anything about the guy outside of him creating the SMG4 channel and being really bad at handling criticism. So I find
This
it
is based off
incredible
his own
how
words.
you get mad at Kevin for speaking over Luke when Luke himself was never a very social person from the get-go. And it was
Yeah, I'm
through
pretty sure
Kevin's addition that
Luke
started
isn't
to open
that
up more
much
in
a
future
sociable,
videos,
but
eventually
I
taking
don't know if
Kevin's
that's
place in
true
the
or not, but
announcements
yeah.
entirely.
Oh man, that was a great movie. Hey guys, thank you all.
Especially, I don't understand why old fans or some folks told me that SMG4 doesn't work on those episodes recent anymore, which I can't understand why, because over the years SMG4 hired animators like Shadow, Medic Excalibur, even James to work on some parts of the episodes, which I can understand that, but I really don't understand how they say SMG4 doesn't work on these episodes, which I really don't understand, because if he doesn't work on them, then why he's the credit as the main director? Like, you can still see he's directed by SMG4 or Luke, like, which, did I miss something here, or it's just them being biased, or I don't know, but I really don't buy it that SMG4 doesn't work on his videos, which I find that really fake at best. So I don't know why.
For watching the It's Gotta Be Perfect movie. We had so much fun making this, and we hope you all enjoyed it. As you know,
I enjoyed it
SMG4
anyways.
And the SMG4 universe is evolving. And no, this isn't just an arc. It's something much different. And
Yeah, It's Gotta Be Perfect movie is pretty much shows SMG4 is pretty much evolved into something else. Not only just Mario, but other characters as well.
The quality on SMG4 and the happiness of you guys means the world to me. So I'm always constantly wanting to make the content fresh and exciting. And I hope this movie is a big step towards that.
I may have been able to let all of the other arguments from before slide as just being either misinformed or based on an intensely biased perspective, but I can't in good conscience defend most of what was said here. Anyone and everyone who unironically thinks accusing Kevin of being a dictator figure is somehow constructive feedback is completely delusional, and it's thanks to videos like this, as well as WH Dude's infamous truth about chili video that audiences now have a visceral reaction to people who claim to be critics. Though to give some credit to WH Dude at the very least, he did acknowledge how bad the chili video really was, and posted a follow-up correcting his mistakes. The same can't be said for the Metal Blade 5 and his terrible video on modern
People make
SMG4.
mistakes, and we
Now,
can
before I end this
go
video
ahead
off,
and fix
I would
that.
just like to quickly bring up the amount of damage that this video ended up causing to the SMG4 fandom as a whole.
Yeah,
and explain why
despite
stuff
the
like this
video,
is a
Metal
net
Blades
negative
have
to not
like
just
over
SMG4, but
100k
any other scene that
views.
thrives off of constructive critique. It's
It really
already
goes to
hard enough
show
get
how
other YouTubers to
far the
listen to
criticisms on
constructive feedback
SMG4
from a
has
minuscule
fallen.
part of the audience is, but Luke and Kevin for years were able to show us that they really did care about what the fans thought of the content. Whether it was through episodes like Mario's Challenge and Mario Battle Royale that brought together many older and newer characters, or Luke's defense of videos like Defaultalizer's top 10 things we hate about modern...
Oh, the funny thing is, in this video of Debunked made about this, I really look back to say this is the only good criticism video in SMG4, but it over time nowadays it is getting bad and bad. Not the video, but how people view this. Like, if you go to the comment section of this video, you will see people just literally being whine and complain how this video make SMG4 worse, which that really wasn't true at all. Which really goes to show how so much people taking opinions, right? Despite the SMG4 commented on this video for people not to get angry at them, which yeah, really proud of the community being respectful. Am I right? And besides, as for me, I'm not really that perfect, nor I'm not in good terms with the community, which I admit I'd be very unhinged at times, and sometimes bring out bad fights, but it's just I'm maybe a bit stupid, and to be honest, I'm trying to be more mature than ever, but I find that doubtful by myself, but I will try to respect and all. But if you see me doing again, then oh well, maybe that's just my stupidity going on. But that doesn't excuse me being bad. So yeah. So yeah, yeah. Especially I don't really trust anyone. So, well, I do with my mutuals. I do trust, but I don't trust anyone trying to bash this video, because overall, if you look in the comment section to see them being unhinged over this video to make how this video make things worse, they're just being deluded as well. Which I understand them, but at the same time, you just like literally trashing them. So yeah.
Modern SMG4. A video that he took genuine advice from and used in order to improve his content going forward. There was a point in time when SMG4 was known for listening to fan feedback, but it was thanks to the release of videos such as this that help in normalizing the extremely
especially the redesigns happen
in some of the more obscure parts of the fandom.
SMG4 the crew took that criticism as well. They listen. When it's gonna be perfect. That event happened. They changed Boopkins and Maggie's design, especially 4 and 3 as well, which that's good.
And randomness era fans exactly what they wanted. And some of you may not realize this, but I used to take part in the very thing that I now strongly speak out against, because I too was a classic era purist that thought that only good years.
Hey, there's me right here. That's my old Sona, my Mario Sona. That's what they called the infamous fans of SMG4. Yeah, I can see why I'm infamous, but who cares? I'm already infamous enough. I don't. Pretty much both classic and modern fans don't like me as much, but yeah, but I'll take that cake. So yeah, I admit I don't do well in that. But yeah, but it's funny to see my Mario Son is there. Man, that's been a while. 3 years ago? Holy shit. But yeah.
were 2011, 2012, and 2013. Granted, I never once levied conspiratorial nonsense towards Luke and Kevin, but it was thanks to the backlash I received from people such as Puddle of Pizza, Falcon RPG, Luigi Channel 50, and even FM himself that I began to realize how pathetic of a person I was.
Bad SMG4. Oh yeah, he got banned on this. Yeah.
It was actually
as much I don't really even Nostalgia Egg, I don't really find him good, but we could see the good side of things. We make our own mistakes and take it to improve. So yeah.
His video on the topic that brought me closer and closer to understanding just how good modern SMG4 could really be. Now granted, I don't necessarily think his video is without its flaws either, nor will his style of text commentary appeal to everyone, but for anyone that wants to see a truly good faith look at the SMG4 series as a whole, I'd strongly recommend watching his video instead of Metal Blades. And if you have enough time to spare, I'd also check out Luigi Channel 50's tier list live stream where he ranks
Jesus,
all of
10
the
hours Luigi fan? God damn, bruh.
episodes. I didn't agree with all of his takes, but the way he goes about it showcases the positives and negatives of each year evenly. As a community, us SMG4 critics should have done a better job at calling out the bad critiques as opposed to just ignoring them.
Yeah, probably me and Falcon try to make our critiques more genuine as possible, which I can understand. Which honestly, my videos are critiquing every month of SMG4. It doesn't do well because I talk mostly a positive, but I'm not trying to look for negatives or positivity, because there's some episodes I can be very what I feel or execution wise. So yeah. But I will take this advice to say I will try to make it more better. But despite I'm not very that professional. Okay, I'm trying to try hard as I can, but I will not overwork myself as well.
And by not doing so, we have allowed complete frauds like Vickless, as well as low-tier commentary YouTubers like the Metal Blade 5 to redefine what it means to be.
Yeah, I don't give a damn about
the discourse has been dominated by either extremely dated talking points or conspiratorial nonsense for over 4 years now. Characters like Meggy are still referred to as new characters despite being in the series for over 6 years.
Yeah, I don't. Meggy is now an old character because she's introduced back in 2017, which is of course 6 years ago. So I don't really call her a new character. She's an old character, especially with Tari and Psycho, which new characters still get the treatment as Melanie, Kaizo, especially Karen Spugdick 1 and 2. So yeah. But when we get to many years later, they're referred as old characters now. not new characters.
Complaints such as there being too much Gmod in the series originated all the way back in 2014. And while you
Yeah,
are still
pretty
able
much,
to
yeah.
find less outdated criticism for
That's true.
SMG4's content on other platforms such as Instagram and Reddit, the most popular outlet for these sorts of critiques is still primarily dominated by the dated talking points. So for as long
Which
as
is
these rant
unfortunate.
videos continue to come out with these same dated criticisms, and for as long as we continue to let
Especially,
this
I hate to bring up Reddit because I pretty much beat Reddit to the ground because SMG4 Reddit, I left that place back in 2020 because the overall atmosphere I give, like whenever when the reason why I left it is because that the users there or fans, quote unquote, like literally bash me whenever I rate episodes like a 9 out of 10 or sometimes 10 out of 10 because they all dunk on me for no reason. It's just my opinion. Don't take it too seriously. Especially, and I can't say the same towards Twitter because if I say this times and times again, they will dunk on my reviews and everything, which I literally stated that just don't take it seriously. It doesn't matter. Just move on and respect. And they're the ones saying respect them as well, which of course respect me as well. Which that really formed me, like my opinions on the community are very sour, and pretty much I don't trust them anymore. I don't. So yeah, so much for opinions, right? Which I don't believe that one sec. So yeah, that's really unfortunate what's going on with the SG4 community. But yeah, and it's overshadowed by the bad atmosphere of criticism such as Nostalgia 8 putting it out because blaming Kevin, the old is good, bad, new is bad. So yeah.
conspiratorial garbage make its way into the mainstream discourse, the chances of us getting Luke, Kevin, and the rest of the Glitch team interested in hearing our opinions again is slim to none.
Yeah.
That about does it for my response to the Metal Blade 5's video. And before I go, I would just like to quickly shout out Puddle of Pizza again for bringing this discussion back into the public eye.
Yeah,
I probably
thanks.
wouldn't have had the motivation
I saw that
to
on
cover
Twitter.
this video for a second time without his involvement. I hope that this response will encourage other critics such as myself to call out these sorts of rant videos more often, so that one day we can finally have good SMG4 criticism videos similar to what we have now with SML. Make sure to check out the links I have provided in the description
I don't think
below,
it doesn't
and
apply
I will
to
see you
SML
guys in my
anymore,
next
so
video.
yeah.
Remember, conspiracies do not equal constructive criticism, and we should no longer pass it off as such.
True.
Thank you all for listening, and take care.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, pretty much. So that overall, that's a good response video. I really do. Even then, there's my like there, and there's me. Yeah, I commented it that it's pretty unfortunate I saw Metablade's video when it was first uploaded because it really made my blood boil so hard when he started to state false statement for the sake of old is good, new is bad, schlick. Yeah, you can read the rest right here. You can read it. You can read everyone else's comments. So yeah, you can all read all that, and you can watch his whole video, which the link will be in the description down below. So yeah, guys. So that's Debunked the worst SMG4 rant video. Respond to Ahora SMG4 by Nostalgia Egg. Yeah, you check it for yourself and try to come up with your own personal thoughts, but try and make it more genuine and constructive. Not what Metal Blade did. Because on it, trust me, you won't get a good treatment out of it. So yeah. But anyways, yeah, that's all the video I had to say. And yeah, guys, so pretty much. So yeah, guys, thank you all so much for watching. That's just me putting out and giving my thoughts what's going on with this debunk video. But yeah, anyway. Even though me and Nostalgia we don't know each other, but we're not in good terms as well. But I can understand where he's going for it, and I'm not saying he's a sort of bad dude. No. He's just, we just make mistakes. Okay, so yeah. Okay, guys, so that's it for today. I will leave Nostalgia X video down in the description down below so you can subscribe to him as well. So yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Sub, like, and comment, and as always, I will see you next time in my next vids. Peace out.